QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Well, look who's come to visit. Last year's World Series champions. We remember last year.
Lined into left, Yelich is there, makes the catch with a slide, and the Brewers have swept the Rangers in Arlington.
Our Brewers-Rangers coverage starts tonight at 6 with Brewers Warm-Up on your home for the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock and 78 degrees. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's afternoon news. No, it's not. It is just the news, I tell you that. But it is in the afternoon. It's 1:01. Your top story, a church in Jefferson County went up in flames last night. Neighbors here near St. John the Baptist Church in Jefferson tell TMJ4 News they heard a loud boom between 8:30 and 9. Could be felt throughout the town. Investigators digging in say a lightning strike started the fire. Meanwhile, crews this morning put out a condo fire in Waukesha on Gabriel Drive. The people who live there say that fire was also caused by lightning. Smoke was coming from the attic, but everyone was able to evacuate without issue. 2 correctional officers are hurt, one critically after an attack by a teen inmate at the Lincoln Hills Youth Prison in northern Wisconsin. Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports one of the officers was assaulted in the residence hall. The inmate then assaulted a second officer, causing the officer's head to hit the concrete. The Wisconsin Department of Corrections is now working to move the 16-year-old to what it calls a suitable facility. Lincoln Hills has been suspect to numerous lawsuits and abuse allegations in recent years, alleging excessive use of pepper spray, strip searches, and restraints against detainees. Charges filed against a 17-year-old accused of shooting and killing another teen last week in Milwaukee's Washington Park.
Among those charges levied against Ontario Gurley Jr. is first-degree recklessly endangering safety and use of a dangerous weapon. Detectives allege Gurley Jr. fired multiple gunshots before running from the scene at the park last Wednesday, where another 17-year-old later died. Police found Gurley and struck him with their squad car before arresting him. Last May, Gurley Jr. was released on a $750 bail in a separate firearm offense. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee Public Schools will hold a special meeting tonight where they could appoint an interim superintendent. The district also working to get their financial house in order after falling 8 months behind on an audit, holding up crucial state funding.
Board VP Jilly Gokagandhi tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News that she was in the dark like the rest of us on how dire the finances were.
The administration kept on giving us assurances that the audit was on track and that we were doing the communication we needed to do to get our state funding.
And now we know that's a lie, and you were betrayed.
We were given assurances over and over again, and, could the board have pushed a little bit harder? Absolutely.
The question now is, should Milwaukee voters who approved the $252 million referendum before all of this came to light still be on the hook? Gokagandhi says yes. Julia Fellow, WTMJ News.
MPS has an acting chief financial officer who submitted a corrective action plan. They expect tens of millions of dollars in state funding to be held back due to overpayment in the last several years. While Wisconsin may continue to host major championships for golf despite nothing on the calendar beyond 2025, that's when Erin Hills in Washington County will host the U.S. Women's Open. USGA Championship Director Allison Burns in town this week tells WTMJ she believes the state has more events in the future.
USGA is a great partner of Erin Hills. Erin Hills is a great partner of USGA, and that relationship is fundamental in us hosting several championships in the future.
Tickets are now on sale for the Open May 26th through June 1st. It's expected to create $20 to $30 million in economic impact for the state. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow down today about 311 points at 39,100. S&P 500 is up about 13 points at 5460. And the NASDAQ also up today about 190 points at 17,685. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:04.
Sleep apnea is a serious condition. And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared. I wasn't getting the sleep I needed.
And that's the thing. Someone like John wakes up after thinking he's slept all night, and he's been feeling run down for years, and finally finds out something really is wrong. This is why, for us, solving sleep apnea problems is so gratifying, because we really are changing lives.
I've had more energy. I'm getting better sleep. I've been told from my wife I don't snore, but honestly, it changed my life.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. Solving your breathing triangle problems means a better quality of life, and you deserve that.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Relive the summer of 21.
The Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions.
Bucks in 6 from Bucks Plus Audio takes you back to the Bucks championship run in 2021.
Milwaukee, we did it, baby. We did it.
Out now on Bucks in 6. The Bucks avenge a playoff loss to the Miami Heat and hand them a sweep to start their 2021 championship run.
Get out the brooms. Sweep the area.
Find Bucks in 6 on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business. Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers look to make it 2 in a row tonight over the Rangers at American Family Field. Coverage gets underway following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. Milwaukee 13 games above 500 after last night's win. And round 1 of the NBA draft takes place Wednesday night. The Bucks currently hold 2 selections, numbers 23 and 33 overall. Taking a look at your roads, the WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. You do have a couple of lane closures to contend with here. 94 eastbound, 16 to the zoo. It's a pretty normal travel time. You can light tap on the brakes. It'll maybe cost you about 2 minutes of a delay. 94 eastbound, zoo to downtown, also going to run you about a 2-minute delay. Normally a 6-minute ride. Southbound at 43, Brown Deer to downtown. That's a 14-minute ride, a 3-minute delay. And working through construction on 894 westbound, Mitchell to the Hale. That's a 9-minute ride, about a 3-minute delay.
Traffic is sponsored by East Troy Lions Music Festival. This weekend, live music, carnival rides, and fun for all. East Troy Lions Music Festival is on this weekend. Live music, carnival rides, huge beer tent, awesome food, fireworks, and a parade on Sunday. East Troy Lions Music Festival. That's easttroylions.com.
Early morning rain is gone. Hot, steamy, sticky today. Breezy as well. A high of 91 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight. A low of 67. Wednesday looked pretty good. A high of 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. A spotty shower chance later in the day. Thursday looks like a winner for the kickoff of week 2 of Summerfest. Mostly sunny with a high of 74. 87 in Madison. 83 and sunny in Green Bay. It's 82 in Waukesha and 80 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time approaching 109.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Coming up today, what's the difference between elks, lions, moose, and eagles? Clubs, that is.
All right.
We will at least get to the bottom of what sets the Lions Club apart when we talk to a member of the East Troy Lions Club and hear all about the good that they do in their community for today's Giving Tuesday.
And, of course, we will spin around the state after 2 o'clock. And then we will talk about, last week we talked about Wisconsin high school basketball alums winning the NBA title. And now we have a high school hockey alum who has led his team to the Stanley Cup victory. They hoisted
so
the
much
cup.
winning in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is nonstop winning. Charlie Sheen should move here. There's an old reference. And then, oh my goodness, there's a shakeup for Clement's Sausage. What does it mean for sausage eaters here in Wisconsin? We'll do that, and then we'll talk about dive bars, because why not? We're going to talk about dive bars on the big
Ice Age
Trail. Yes, so we'll be doing all of that.
Because what goes better with hiking than stopping in for a $2 high life at a dive bar?
That's the only reason I'll hike. If at the end, I don't care how long the hike is. It could be the Bataan Death March. If at the end they promise me a beer, all right.
That'll keep you going?
Strap them on. Let's go.
There we go. All right, but first, yesterday we had a chance to speak to Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Well, I'm in Wisconsin because it is the 2-year anniversary of American women losing the protection of Roe versus Wade.
Now, I don't know if your timeline and social media accounts looked like mine did, but mine were very much covered with coverage about the 2-year anniversary yesterday. And this is clearly an issue that Democrats are leaning into hard going into this year's election. They continue to tout their efforts to protect not only abortion access, but contraception and IVF. And politically, it's all, it's an attempt to capitalize on the enthusiasm that's been there basically every election in the last 2 years.
Right.
And, I would say most political and pundits would agree that here in Wisconsin, Tony Evers got a second term because people felt abortion was on the ballot. And certainly Justice Janet Protasewicz won because I think people thought abortion was on the ballot. And across the country, when abortion has actually been on the ballot, when it comes to measures, even in red states, protecting abortion access has won. So far in the last 2 years, it's been California, Michigan, Ohio, Vermont, Kentucky, and Kansas.
Kansas, it's like
That
one
was
of
the
these things,
surprising
not like
one.
the others. Kansas, a very red state. Kentucky, a very red state.
Ohio is a red state.
Yeah, it goes to show that sometimes politicians are not acting as much as they tout, I'm doing it for my constituents. Sometimes they turn a deaf ear to their constituents.
Well, and then in 2024 so far, up to 11 states may have abortion measures on their ballots. So some states are in different, they're still collecting signatures. Right. They've submitted signatures. Some are confirmed. But basically that's Montana, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, South Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, Arkansas, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Florida.
Okay.
Again,
big mix
as far as how the states typically swing. Right. Could these ballot measures affect how the state votes, who turns out? But in Wisconsin, we don't have direct democracy ballot measures that are citizen-led initiatives.
And that's just what it sounds like, right? If we get a group, we get a petition, we start collecting signatures. That's what that is?
Yeah, so basically when we have ballot measures, and we're going to, right? When we have referendums, so there's another one coming up on the primary on August 13th. That is a binding referendum, but that had to go through the legislature.
Right.
So in Wisconsin, we can't get enough signatures to get from voters to then get that measure on the ballot.
There's always that middleman of the legislature.
It has to be the legislature. It has to be led by the legislature. So my question is, in Wisconsin, this year, does it still feel like abortion is on the ballot? We do not have a direct ballot measure.
Right.
We do have a Senate race, and the Senate arguably is up for grabs again. Obviously, we have the presidential. And with Democrats leaning into this issue so hard, 2 years out since the Dobbs decision came out, does it still feel like abortion is on the ballot in Wisconsin this fall, and is it an issue that could break or make the election here?
Well, you bring up an interesting point where it's not, we don't have the referendum on the ballot, but we all know the candidates who are running on both sides. We know where they stand. So if it's an issue that's important to you, which I know in my house it is, then yes, I would say indirectly it is on the ballot because the people that you vote for you're hoping that they back up what they've told you in their platforms, that this is how I feel on issue A, issue B, and because how else do we make our decision to vote? So I would say if it's an issue, whether you're pro or con, it's on the ballot because the person you vote for is going to go one way or another.
So we're going to keep discussing this after the break, and we'll also do a bit of a recap of what the whiplash in Wisconsin has been when it comes to abortion access since the Dobbs decision fell. News time 1:15. This is Spanning the State.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a good quality mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you are assured of a mattress made individually for you out of the finest natural materials direct from our Milwaukee factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress, and with our factory direct prices, you will save hundreds of dollars. Milwaukee mattresses from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Stop in today. Stop into Ken Michaels Furniture for our sale on Braddington Young. Made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, Braddington Young is an American icon in quality leather upholstery. Whether you are looking for power recliners or stationary seating, Braddington Young's furniture is made with enduring quality, outstanding comfort, and timeless styling. Save up to 40% now on Braddington Young upholstery at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield and Greenfield. Visit us today.
It's Heiser's Super Summer Savings Event. We have new Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Lincoln, and Cadillac vehicles. Let's make your summer plans way more fun. No matter your style, our Heiser consultants will streamline the process for you. That way, you can get back to enjoying road trips, barbecues, boating, and the rest summer has to offer. So stop in or shop online at Heiser.com. And remember, at Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of the Dobbs decision, which overturned Roe versus Wade. And abortion has proven to be a salient issue in high-profile races across our state, across the country. And no surprise, Democrats this year are trying to make their message resonate with the same potency ahead of November's elections. And Senator Elizabeth Warren was in Wisconsin yesterday, in Milwaukee, and then Madison, and we got a chance to talk to her. And one of the things she said is how once the Supreme Court made their decision, that this ultimately came back to the voters.
I went straight over to the steps of the Supreme Court, not to say how sad I was, not to say how scared I was, but to say how furious I was that the United States Supreme Court had taken this right away, but also to say they're not the final word. The final word is with the voters, and that voters can make Roe versus Wade law of the land.
Which, and I go back to what you pointed out before, that's great in the other states that are actually either have put it on the ballot or are going to put it on the ballot. It's very concerning that we can't just do that here in Wisconsin.
And there's arguments, you lived in California, where there's a lot of propositions all the time, and yes, the way things get worded. And so I totally understand there's arguments for and against, but she's right as far as when Roe got sent back to the states, that it is very much either up to the direct ballot measures or on who you vote for. And in Wisconsin, for the last 2 really big elections here, both in 2022 and then in the spring of 2023, when Governor Tony Evers got reelected and then Justice Janet Protasewicz flipped the Supreme Court, right. I think most people would argue that it was a reflection of abortion feeling like it was on the ballot. Because to recap where the whiplash Wisconsin has gone through in these last 2 years is that after the Dobbs decision came down, it revived an 1849 state abortion ban in Wisconsin that basically said all abortions are banned unless the mother is dying.
Right.
And for 15 months, we lived under that near total abortion ban. And that was up until last summer when a Dane County ruling reversed the ban. And that decision is still being appealed to the state Supreme Court. So that case is not done. We were basically working under the law of what the Dane County court ruled. And so the Supreme Court has also yet to agree to hear that case. Additionally, Planned Parenthood filed a petition with the state Supreme Court asking them to decide whether the Wisconsin Constitution protects a woman's right to medical abortion services. So that would codify it into our Constitution, depending on if the Supreme Court takes the case, which they haven't agreed to yet, and two, depending on how they rule, then it would be a constitutional right.
And to answer your initial question, do you feel it's on the ballot? Planned Parenthood definitely feels it's on the ballot or wants to convince people, because they're going to spend over $40 million on billboards and ads between now and November to remind people that this is an issue.
Yeah. And so as it stands right now, Wisconsin currently bans the procedure after 20 weeks, which is the law that was passed by Republican legislators and Governor Scott Walker about less than a decade ago.
Right.
And so knowing that there has been two big elections that have basically gotten us back to where we were prior to Dobbs in Wisconsin, are Democrats on the right path of leaning into this as a political strategy and trying to energize the base? And so because we don't have a direct ballot measure, is this still is there energy around this issue for the presidential election and for the Senate election that this is a big enough issue over the economy, over immigration, over the myriad of things of why you choose to vote for who you vote for? Is the energy still there?
I think whenever, I can only speak for me, when I go decide on who I'm going to vote for, I usually have about three main issues. 1, 2, 3. And I know because nobody gets what they want. I think the Rolling Stones may have said that back in the day. I know a candidate is not going to check all my boxes. So for me, it's usually the main one. If they check that main one, 2 and 3, okay, I can kind of move. And if women's health and abortion is your number one issue, then I do think it energizes you to go out and do some more due diligence to find out the candidate who checks that for you. And you know that this is a person who's backed it before. They have a record of that. Maybe their economic policies you have an issue with here or there, but you're voting on one issue. Because, and you'd know better, a lot of elections come down to one issue voters. So I think this is going to come down to the same thing. A lot of people, the issue is the economy, but I find it hard to believe that this is not the primary issue for a lot of voters.
I would love to hear from you. 855-616-1620. Text us whether or not this is still energizes you one way or the other, regardless of your feelings about abortion. Is this a top issue for you? Because Democrats are certainly leaning into it. Mm-hmm. And I find it politically interesting to see, because it's not technically on the ballot, and making that case as far as if you want to protect this continuously, you need to vote blue if that case is being received beyond just base voters.
Yeah, it's very interesting. 855-616-1620, Siding Unlimited News Time, 124.
It's like playing baseball in the house.
Mom, Dad broke the window.
Without the risk of...
Again.
That. Every Thursday at 8:40, play virtual baseball on Wisconsin's Morning News. Step up to the virtual plate and test your mettle against the best.
Swing and a drive to right.
It's virtual baseball, presented by Siding Unlimited. Only played here on WTMJ.
If I had one thing that I would want everybody to know about Penny Mustard, it would be that we take care of our customer.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
We don't avoid phone calls. We don't not call people back. We don't try to figure out ways not to take care of something. So many times you hear about this where, that item had a 1-year warranty on it. It's 13 months. Sorry. Too bad. So sad.
We wouldn't bat an eye. Our service team would call out and say, how can I help? I'll dig through the archives and figure out how to find that little broken handle, and I'll come up with a solution for you.
If the consumers knew what we do on the customer service end of things, willing to go that extra mile to take care of anything, everything, they wouldn't hardly believe it.
That is just doing whatever it takes to get it done.
Yep.
And as much as that's customer service, because the customer was happy that it was done, that's just service to us. That's service to all the other employees that we bucked up and got the extra work done.
Yep.
See more at pennymustard.com.
Hey, boaters! Truly the best supplier around for all of our boating needs. This place is magic. I call it my candy store for boating parts. This is Dave Doro from Kendor Marine. And yeah, I said it, but these are the actual words of our satisfied and loyal customers. Boaters in the know exactly where to go, and there's a reason. We've got it all for our boater buddies. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters!
Now, I wasn't eavesdropping. I just happened to overhear him talking about us. He said if you know what you're looking for, just rummage around. You'll find it. And it's true, because we stock more boat parts and accessories than anyone. Even those oddball parts you thought you'd never find. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. My home is my happy place. It's happier thanks to CertaPro Painters. They painted the exterior of our house. It was quick. It was easy. You can schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's CertaPro with a C. Estimates are easy. Estimates are accurate. They clean up. CertaPro Painters are the real deal. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Newton.
And I'm Kristen Bry, and we are doing some reflection on yesterday being the 2-year anniversary since the Dobbs decision came out, and how politically this is continuing to play out in a big election year.
I remember that day and how, I was upset, but watching my wife and daughter react to this and female friends of mine react to this, I was glad I wasn't a woman, because I was like, you guys are getting screwed over. And again, my opinions are my own. If you got an issue with my opinion, direct your angst at me. But I just, real life, real talk, that's how it affected my house. And I would imagine it affected a lot of people the same way. We're not unique.
I mean, that was certainly, that was the summer I was getting married. I knew that the following year we were trying to get pregnant. Yep. We did get pregnant. And I think I've talked about this on the show before, my entire pregnancy was basically under the abortion ban.
Right, you did, yeah.
And the fact that had something, like how close to death would I have had to be in order to give life-saving emergency care? And that was, that was not on my mind for a lot of last year.
See, and I can't imagine that. I also can't imagine being your husband who, if you got sick, is going to have to, and you couldn't make the decision yourself, is going to have to make that decision.
Yeah.
There's no winning, but, as far as being a woman in this country now, and I don't think I'm being hyperbolic to say it's scary. You mentioned this while we were off the air. When older women are talking to people about this, it's because why?
Oh, because they remember. My mom remembers. My mom was certainly in the age group where she said there was 1 or 2 women in their high school class who had to go away for a little while, right, and then they came back.
Visit their aunt in the country.
Yeah, and the stories, I think there's of women of a certain age remember what it was like when there wasn't access, and still feel very passionate about it today in the same way that younger women also do. And this is not to talk about right or wrong.
Right.
Politically, I think it is, as someone who's interested in politics,
yes,
interesting as far as if it's continuing to move people. And like I said before, what I also find on the other side politically interesting is the fact that, as we've laid out, how many times voters have chosen, when given the choice, to protect abortion access, and it is still an issue that there is no consensus on within the Republican Party. As far as, I think there are some who this is very much their belief and what they want to continue to codify into law, and there are some Republicans, Ron Johnson being one of them. Trump actually has flip-flopped on it as far as the fact of this is a losing issue for us, and yet, as I've said before, the vote to codify the right to contraception, the vote to codify the right for IVF, Republicans have blocked. Yeah. And so they can't get on board with this issue yet, which I think is interesting because it's, again and again, has yet to be proven to be a winning issue for them.
And I'm sure this will be talked about a lot between now and November. But first, we have to get some ABC headlines and local news.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. A New York judge has modified former President Trump's gag order 2 days ahead of the first presidential debate. He'll now be allowed to comment publicly about witnesses and jurors in his criminal hush money trial. Meanwhile, a federal judge overseeing his classified documents case holding hearings to consider whether evidence obtained in the 2022 search of his Florida estate can be used at trial. ABC's Catherine Falders has more.
This comes as ABC News is exclusively reporting on notes that Trump's former lead lawyer on the case took about his meetings with Trump leading up to the search of his estate. In his notes, that lawyer, Evan Corcoran, said that Trump privately expressed concerns that turning potentially classified documents in his possession over to investigators could result in criminal charges.
House Judiciary Committee drafting a contempt resolution targeting President Biden's ghostwriter, saying he has not complied with a March subpoena. And Oklahoma Supreme Court ruled a publicly funded religious charter school violates the Constitution. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. I'm Greg Matzik. Decision, Wisconsin. A Dane County judge is ordering Wisconsin clerks to allow absentee email ballot delivery in the November election for voters with disabilities. The ruling in favor Disability Rights Wisconsin and the Wisconsin League of Women Voters requires that email ballots be capable of being marked electronically as well. Attorneys for the Wisconsin Elections Commission argued Monday there's not enough time to implement electronic ballot delivery before the election. Decision Wisconsin coverage presented by Pasternak and Zergabel. Well, you can vote just about anywhere when it's flooded. That's the ruling by a Jefferson County judge on the public's right to use flooded rivers, lakes, and streams. Thomas Rice of Ixonia filed a lawsuit against the Wisconsin DNR last year because his land borders the Rock River. He says when the river floods, airboat users take advantage of the higher water levels to trespass across his land. The DNR says the public trust doctrine grants access rights to any part of a passable waterway as long as the person remains on the water. Online court records show the judge found the DNR's policy unlawful and invalid. And welcoming guests to the upcoming RNC with a big concert. Country music artist Trace Adkins will perform for convention delegates and partner organizations as part of the Red, White, and Brew welcome celebration. The event will take place at the Summerfest grounds July 14th, one day before the RNC officially begins. 50,000 guests are expected to flood Milwaukee for convention activities. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow trying to claw back, still down 255 points at 39,155. The Nasdaq is up about 210 points at 17,707. And the S&P 500 up today about 20 points at 5467. Inflation not going away. Download your copy of Safeguarding Against Inflation, Strategies for Wealth Preservation. Visit annexwealth.com. Time for a look at your road with a Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. Usual slowdown spots this afternoon, 43 southbound Brown Deer to downtown. It's going to run you 14 through the construction zone. You're tapping on the brakes riding 894 westbound, Mitchell to the Hale. That's a 2-minute delay through the construction zone. And keep an eye out for closures here. 94 eastbound, Highway 16 to the Zoo. No real slowdowns, but road closures to contend with. I-94 eastbound Zoo into downtown. That'll run you about 8 this afternoon. Your WTMJ forecast calls for hot conditions. Sticky today, humid, breezy with a high of 91. Mostly cloudy tonight with a low of 67. Partly cloudy on Wednesday, just a slight chance for a spotty shower and a high of 80. 87 in Madison, 83 in Green Bay, 82 in Waukesha, and 80 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
There's a reason why we install Armstrong Air Pro Series systems. When your reputation is on the line, you pick the brand you can trust. It's like our employees. You pick the best to preserve your good name. A guy like me that's been working on furnaces and AC systems for over half my life. I got an eye for the good stuff. And Armstrong Air Pro Series systems fit the bill. This is Anthony Zanevsky with Quality Heating. When you need a good crew installing a system you can rely on, see the man in the red van.
Quality heating, quality heating.
Emergency service 24/7. Quality Heating has 25 trucks ready to work around the clock to get out there quickly to solve your heating or AC problem. So when that system goes on the fritz and you want to avoid that sweaty summer heat or bypass the fear of frozen feet, the man in the red van can't be beat when it comes to prompt, reliable service. Call Quality Heating for any emergency HVAC need.
You gotta see the man in the red van. Quality heating, quality heating.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Annex Wealth Management, investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning, customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Oh, thank goodness. After listening to all the kids with their hip-hop last week at Summerfest, we play a little Jackson Browne to bring us back. It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
I'm Kristen Bright. I'm very impressed with your ability to hear a song and they're like know it.
I grew up listening to AM music radio nonstop. So I would name that tune, early classic stuff, I'm pretty good at.
But still, it's the fact that you can still feel, because I feel like and this is topical because Inside Out just came.
Yes.
Inside Out 2 just came out. 2. And the most poignant part, I feel like, for me of Inside Out 1 is how you can only have so many memories.
Right.
And I feel like that about just knowledge in general. It's like, well, if this is going in, something else is going out. And so the fact that you still have all that knowledge of I know this song.
Well,
my brain does not work like that.
It's also one of my favorite songs. But I say that to Molly because sometimes she'll say, Are you losing your mind? Are you forgetting things? I don't have room for all the little minutia. You tell me you bought a skirt last Thursday. That I'm interested in the moment, but I'm not going to hang on to that and bump something else out. So I don't know Jackson Browne when I hear the first couple notes.
It's all priorities, man.
It is priority.
All right. So speaking of potentially an age difference thing.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's history behind Elks clubs and Lions clubs and Rotary and Moose lodges. And I personally don't know the difference between all of them. Do you?
I don't know I don't know the specific differences. I know they're all set up as fraternal organizations. Mm-hmm. Most of them do charity work. Some specialize in one type. Like Lions Club does a lot of vision stuff because they always have they used to have the Candy Day, and it was for glasses and things like that. I've been, when we were kids, we went to, remember I told you the story about the tandem bike and my mom would always,
how could I forget?
That was a Lions Club pool that we would all go to. It was a community pool.
Oh, so they would sponsor a...
Well, they owned the pool, and anybody, this was not anybody could buy a membership to the pool, like a pool pass.
Okay, but not necessarily be members of the Lions Club.
We were not active members of the Lions Club, but we joined the pool.
Okay.
My uncle was part of the Elks Club, which did a lot of charitable thing, but their lodge also had a nice dining room. So we would go to the Elks for dinner. It was all very fancy. We'd go with Uncle Bob to the Elks Club. And then my youngest brother who moved to Florida, he lives on the Gulf. Right across the street was a Moose Lodge. Well, he's not into fraternal organizations, but the Moose Lodge has a beautiful deck overlooking the Gulf, and they have all kinds of activities and Elvis impersonators and happy hours and dinner. So he and my sister-in-law are now members of the Moose.
All right.
So I guess, and I've done shows at Moose clubs and Elks clubs, and there's a little animosity.
There's a rivalry?
Oh, yeah. You can't, one doesn't like the other, the Moose and the Elk. They don't get along.
I'm sure that's probably, I wonder how much that's real in the actual forest as well.
I think the
You
lion.
think Moose and elk get along?
Moose and elk probably better than like a lion and an elk. That would be
I'm not
too
sure
much.
they cross paths as often, though.
I would like to see it, though.
Well, we're going to be talking to one of the members from the East Troy Lions Club when we come back about there's the East Troy Music Festival is coming up this week.
Yeah.
But he's going to help us understand what sets the Lions Club apart and how they give back to the community and all the different causes, because this is wild to me as far as they've helped something like 400 or 500 different causes.
It's amazing, and they've been around for a while.
Yes, exactly. So we will get to the bottom of this on the other side of this.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money, too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, Dr. Michael Nolte. Expertscape recently named him part of the top 1% of spine expertise in the world. Dr. Nolte has published over 50 peer-reviewed articles in leading scientific journals and authored more than 100 national presentations. They added this MVP specialist for orthopedic, neurosurgical, and spine care because at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
Gorgeous new roofs, showstopper siding, or classic brick and stonework. How about modern windows and regal doors that'll make your chin hit the floor? To a lot of people, having these things can really make them enjoy where they live. It makes them proud. But there's always one thing standing in the way. How do I make that happen? At Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, we have excellent financing options for most people in most situations. 12 months, no interest, no payments, and exceptional rates for long-term loans that will beat your bank with no additional fees or hidden costs. You can go to SemperfiRoofing.com to apply for your pre-approval today. We want to make any project affordable to almost any person, and we've gone out of our way to find partners that can help make it happen for you. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
Ask about our finance options.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
I always wonder if B. Arthur is going to come back from the grave during this part of the show, but alas, she is not. It is spanning the state. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristen Bryan. That music means it's Giving Tuesday, when we like to cover stories and organizations and people who are doing good and good news across the state. And before we got back to this segment, we were talking about social clubs and the differences between Elks and Lions and Moose and Eagles and Rotary and Masons. And there's a lot of different groups you can be a part of. But joining us now from the East Troy Lions Club is Michael Glodowski, who is the member of the East Troy Lions Club. And so we want to get to the bottom of this and then get into all the good that the Lions Club in East Troy is doing. Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Thanks a lot. I'm really proud to be on the show here with you guys.
So before we jump into all of the causes you guys have helped and all of the community good that you do, can you help us decipher between moose and elk and lions? And for someone, speaking for myself as a younger generation, what is the difference between all these clubs or associations?
Well, certainly in a lot of ways, a lot of clubs have the same affiliation from many aspects, but really the Lions, that's kind of the theme that they run by, where there's a need, there's a line, and also we serve as a model. So anything locally, also within the state, we help out. East Troy is really proud of the history here, working with the youth between the middle schools, high schools, hearing impaired, of course, the BOLD program, folks that have sight issues. We are offering, this weekend free screenings for kids at our festival. That's one of the many things. We also are very proud of our long-standing relationship with the Toys for Kids during the holiday season. We've helped build parks. We're proud of that. We relamped baseball fields in East Troy. The list goes on, and of course, we're a very large supporter of the East Troy Lions Camp, the Wisconsin Lions Camp in Ross, Wisconsin, for handicapped children and adults from autism to diabetes. It's fundamentally the largest civic group in the world. The Lions is.
Really?
That's fantastic. How old is the Lions Club, Mike? Do you know?
Oh boy, I can speak for ours. We're tickling about 95 ourselves.
Wow,
here in East Troy.
The East Troy Lions.
Proud to have sponsored. Yeah, we're proud to have sponsored some of the local other Lions clubs in our area too throughout those years.
Are you guys already planning the 100-year anniversary, even though it's 5 years away?
Well, I think there's something going to be rolling out here, a campaign here rather soon, but it's going to be really special. I mean, there's a lot of clubs that have been around, but I've always been real proud of East Troy, really taking it off the rails from our celebrations to, some of our raffles that are completely different from the rest. They're large scale, and we try to get the whole community involved, especially the youth. That's really, when we look at what the Lions Club does, there's the Leos Club, which is between 12 and 18, and we've reinvigorated and brought our club back. We have 17 members, and these youngsters are combing. They're the future, really, of the Lionism across the board. They have a raffle this weekend. They're really doing a lot of great things, and we're as members, Lions members, we really want the Leos to, reach out and, do their best what they can for the community, and we try to comb them in the right direction.
Well, they're the next generation of Lions, right? The more they're involved at a young age, there's probably a really good chance that they're going to stick with it through adulthood.
Certainly, that is our goal.
Absolutely. Were you a Leo?
And, well, I was not. That was before the Leos were involved. I've been involved about 26 years here in East Troy, so from the age of 18. So that program wasn't around, but certainly I would have been had that was available.
All right, one of the ways, and one of the big ways, that the East Troy Lions Club raises money to help all these organizations that you help is the big East Troy Music Festival. That's happening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Mike, what's going on? What can people expect when they roll into East Troy for the festival?
Well, we got a lot of stuff going on in East Troy this weekend. They're going to be bringing back the Dave Matthews Band, which will load up the village here.
Oh, that's right.
East Troy Lions. Yes, they're going to bring them back on Sunday, but that's when our parade is at noon. But it kicks off the 28th through the 30th. We have 3 stages, 21 acts. It's a family fun event. We can get wristbands. We get the full carnival setting up. Like I said, we have 3 large tents. Of course, the wonderful food, and of course, we have a firework display on Sunday at dusk, and at noon on Sunday we have our parade that kicks off. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and all that great information, EastTroyLions.com. That's where it's all at here in East Troy.
That's actually probably good for you guys that Dave Matthews Band is coming back. Do you think there's going to be a lot more people who are just going to be in the East Troy area that might come a little early and check out the music festival?
Yeah, well, that's one thing about having Alpine Valley in our backyard here in East Troy. You never know on any. Typically, this festival runs the early part of July about how the weekend fell. We had to run the 28th or the 30th this year. But with that said, there are a large volume of additional people, but it also makes it fun. They'll come on up and have some food with us and, have a couple beverages, adult beverages. But as always, kids, families, everyone's welcome. No pets or no carry-ins. That's like most events.
Sure.
But it's a fun-filled family event for everybody.
And so is there a specific cause that the money this raised from the music festival this year is going to, or is it just going to a general fund that then goes into next year, figuring out where you want to help?
Yeah, you're right there with that. I mean, as far as exact proceeds, the money goes in so many different directions. There's a whole select board of members and, obviously the president and all the way down to the board, all the way down to our civic center. We have actually East Shore Lions Community Center. We put money in that. That is for anyone to use as well. But the cause itself is across the board. There's probably 30 to 40 places we put money into, and we are the largest civic contribution in scholarships here in East Troy. So we probably provide 4 to 5 scholarships a year for kids.
That's
East Troy
amazing.
As well.
How long has the music festival been going on, Mike?
Boy, I would think, to the best of my knowledge, I'm thinking about 91. So right after they started. So there's been, this is a big, it's all sponsored by Miller Brewery. So we're real proud to have that partnership with them throughout the years. And it's been great for the community, bringing people together. And actually a lot of class reunions take place here because the facility is so large. It's open up, and even during COVID, it was a safe environment because there's so much room here.
Nice.
That feels like you get off easy if you're the one organizing the reunion. You're like, oh, let's just do it with the East Troy Music Festival.
We'll do it right
That's
here.
easy. I don't have to plan anything else. All right. Well, the East Troy Music Festival is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's 3 stages, a parade, fireworks Sunday night. All of the money and the proceeds from the festival goes to the East Troy Lions Club, which, as you just heard, is doing so much good in their community. Where can they get more information, Michael?
EastTroyLions.com. EastTroyLions.com.
EastTroyLions.com.
All right.
Michael, good luck this weekend. We'll cross our fingers the weather holds out for you. And East Troy Lions Club, shout out for all the good work you're doing. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys for all your time and what you guys do for communities as well.
All right. News time at 1:51. This is Spanning the State.
The biggest names in the basketball world.
Dame Dollar Lillard.
Having fun and honest conversations.
He puts it in the shoe, right? And sets the tone for brothers and sisters and family.
Every week, Thanasis Adetokounmpo sits down with special guests on Thanalysis Show. Presented by Carbless Ready-to-Drink Cocktails.
Fantastic.
Find Thanalysis Show on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And on YouTube by searching Thanalysis Show.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but despite what a certain national online company tells you, a car's not one of them.
Let's see. Cheese Doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. Green 4-door hatchback. Honey, we're gonna need some more quarters.
Sure, they make it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online. And unlike those national companies, you get to see the vehicle in person and test drive it before you buy it. You also have the assurance that the vehicle's been thoroughly tested, and if any issue does come up, your local Adam member dealer is right here to service it. And can also provide low financing and top dollar for your trade. Think about that before you take a chance with their so-called vending machine.
What? It's stuck! No! Oh, rats!
Start your search at adamm.com.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. The best time to plan a funeral is when you don't have to. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Got an old boat, a new boat in between. Kendor Marine. Upholstery and parts, hard to find things. Kendor Marine. Hey boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Everything you need but the water. Hey boaters, cruise to everything you need but the water.
Easy to find at 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin or at KendorMarine.com.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos?
Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Spanning the state, I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristen Bry, and thanks again to East Troy Lions Club member Michael Gladowski, who was just with us talking about the East Troy Music Festival. And I just wanted to read one of the texts we got in from the 414. Local community organizations are so important for connection with your neighbors. Some of the most important things, especially for young families. These organizations have dropped off, and it's a shame. My father was a member of the Knights of Columbus, and organizations like that and the Elks and the Lions are vital for this country to reconnect with itself. And we brought this up as we were talking about this topic this morning, as far as we've mentioned before, the loneliness epidemic and the drop-off of families going to churches often, and just where do you go for community and to get back to your community and to get out of the echo chambers of the internet that make
we
things,
live in the echo chamber. We
right?
have to stay
And
there.
so, and that's why I totally admit that I didn't know the differences between these different clubs. I know they've been around for a long time.
Right.
I know that they were in their probably peak of their popularity, maybe as you were growing up.
Yeah, because I remember, and you used to always see them out with their
they all
fundraisers.
had like different hats and
right.
like
and
different
things
symbols
and
that they would
banners
wear.
or sashes. Yeah, and they'd be out, and you're like, oh, it's Lions Club Candy Day. That was, and oh, it's the Elks are doing this, and so they were out, and you could see them, and they were part of the community, and they always, if you go, at State Fair or any county fair, you see the Lions Club or the Elks Club or the Moose Lodge.
Yeah.
They're always sponsoring everything. They sponsor Little League teams. They sponsor all kind of stuff. And unless you're involved, I don't know much about them.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back for the millennials and Gen Z. Let's make it cool again.
We'll start our own lodge.
There we go. All right, spanning the state.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
You're up for the flight experience of a lifetime at EAA AirVenture Oshkosh, happening July 22nd through the 28th. John Mercure here. Embark on thrilling adventures with daily flights and see AirVenture at a new height when you take a ride on EAA's B-25, Ford Tri-Motor, or the Bell 47 helicopter. But the excitement doesn't end there. Explore vintage aircraft, test your skills in flight simulators, and witness mesmerizing aerobatic displays. Visit EAA.org/tickets to secure your tickets now for EAA AirVenture Oshkosh.
This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, and I want to talk about exactly what we do. When you come here, you're going to get 2 shots with 2 very small needles. One will be a medication called Toradol, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, completely different from a standard steroid or cortisone injection. This medication is safe and a great pain reliever. The other will be hyaluronic acid, which is a naturally occurring fluid found in all of our joints. What hyaluronic acid does is it helps recoat the inside surfaces to provide cushioning and lubrication. It helps slow down the osteoarthritis process to a point where patients may not need surgery. All of this combined with using our state-of-the-art Ultra G machine developed by NASA has produced profound results. What we do works. And the best part about this is that insurance covers most of our patients' treatments. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Universal Windows Direct. Spring is here. It's only going to get hotter from here on out. Do not cool off the outside of your house this year. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Super spacer technology. What does that mean? It keeps the edge of the glass warmer, holds the window seal longer, and makes the windows last up to 5 times longer than other window systems. So your windows from Universal Windows Direct perform better and last longer. Plus, Universal Windows Direct backs it up with a true lifetime warranty as long as you own the home and a 20-year warranty to the next homeowner. Plus, 0% financing for 60 months. Updating your windows with Universal Windows Direct means extra protection from the elements, a consistent temperature in your home, increased energy efficiency, and reduced heating and cooling costs, plus a quieter and more comfortable home. For every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free, plus 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years Restrictions apply. Tell them I told you to call. Get an additional $250 off your project. Go to uwd.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost, free tire repair, and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements is we put them on for you. Buy one or a whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin, Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. Well, look who's come to visit. Last year's World Series champions. We remember last year.
Lined into left, Yelich is there, makes the catch of the slide, and the Brewers have swept the Rangers in Arlington.
Our Brewers-Rangers coverage starts tonight at 6 with Brewers Warm-Up on your home for the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 2 o'clock, it's pretty nice outside after that early morning rain. Hot and humid this afternoon, though. Going to get up to 91 degrees, wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 67 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm John Mercier. 2 correctional officers are hurt, one critically after an attack by a teen inmate at the Lincoln Hills Youth Prison in northern Wisconsin. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reporting one of the officers was assaulted in the residence hall. The inmate then assaulted a second officer, causing that officer's head to hit the concrete. The Wisconsin Department of Corrections is now working to move the 16-year-old to what it calls a more suitable facility. Charges have been filed against a 17-year-old accused of shooting and killing another teen last week in Milwaukee's Washington Park.
Among those charges levied against Ontario Gurley Jr. is first-degree recklessly endangering safety and use of a dangerous weapon. Detectives allege Gurley Jr. fired multiple gunshots before running from the scene at the park last Wednesday, where another 17-year-old later died. Police found Gurley and struck him with their squad car before arresting him. Last May, Gurley Jr. was released on a $750 bail in a separate firearm offense. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Now that he's been convicted of lying on a form about his drug use prior to buying a handgun, Hunter Biden has had his law license suspended in the nation's capital. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The action by D.C.'s highest court immediately suspends Hunter Biden's license to practice law in this city. The D.C. Bar's Professional Responsibility Board will now determine whether Hunter Biden's gun law violation amounts to an offense of moral turpitude, which would strip him of his D.C. law license permanently. His attorneys are now seeking a new trial in the Delaware federal gun case, arguing on a technicality that the jury was seated before an appeals court said that it was done reviewing pretrial motions.
Wisconsin may continue to host major championships for golf despite nothing on the calendar beyond 2025. That's when Erin Hills in Washington County host the U.S. Women's Open. USGA Championship Director Allison Burns, in town this week, tells WTMJ she believes the state has more events in its future.
USGA is a great partner of Erin Hills. Erin Hills is a great partner of USGA, and that relationship is fundamental in us hosting several championships in the future.
Tickets are on sale now. It's expected to create $20 to $30 million in economic impact for the state. Time now for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. It's mixed right now. The Dow is off 275 points. That's 0.75%. But the NASDAQ is up 203. That's more than 1%. And the S&P right now rising. It's at 17 on the plus side. That's up 1/3 of a point. Inflation isn't going away. Download your copy of Safeguarding Against Inflation, Strategies for Wealth Preservation at annexwealth.com/inflation. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:03.
There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a good quality mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you are assured of a mattress made individually for you out of the finest natural materials direct from our Milwaukee factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress, and with our factory direct prices, you will save hundreds of dollars. Milwaukee mattresses from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Stop in today. Stop into Ken Michaels Furniture for our sale on Bradington Young. Made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, Bradington Young is an American icon in quality leather upholstery. Whether you are looking for power recliners or stationary seating, Bradington Young's furniture is made with enduring quality, outstanding comfort, and timeless styling. Save up to 40% now on Braddington Young Upholstery at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield and Greenfield. Visit us today.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. We've made it to that wonderful time in Wisconsin when everyone likes to be outside. The gardening, the golfing, the swimming, but not you, because your knee hurts or your hips are bothering you and you don't want to do anything that could mean needing surgery. Hey, I get it. But here's the thing. You don't need surgery to feel better. That's where QC Kinetics comes in. Non-surgical joint pain relief is a thing. It's here. It's happening at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, lasting joint relief with no surgery, no drugs, and get this, no downtime. Stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Get outside this summer. Call QC Kinetics. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today and live your best life again.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers look to make it 2 in a row over the Rangers tonight. Game 2 of that 3-game series. Coverage begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. Round 1 of the NBA draft takes place tomorrow night. The Bucks currently own 2 selections, number 23 and 33 overall. Let's check out those roads with the WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. 94 through Waukesha in Milwaukee County is a mess right now. Eastbound from Highway 16 to the Zoo, a delay, some road construction. 94 eastbound from the Zoo the rest of the way into downtown. That's going to take you about 6 extra minutes. I-43 southbound, Brown Deer into downtown. Delays due to construction there in that normal little area.
Traffic is sponsored by East Troy Lions Music Festival. This weekend, live music, carnival rides, and fun for all. East Troy Lions Music Festival is on this weekend. Live music, carnival rides, huge beer tent, awesome food, fireworks, and a parade on Sunday. East Troy Lions Music Festival. That's easttroylions.com.
And here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 67. Tomorrow, spotty shower, breezy, a high of 80. On Thursday, morning fog, then mostly sunny for your Thursday, a high of 74. Friday, chance for rain, a high of 78. Saturday, a slight chance for rain early, a high of 84 degrees. Right now in Madison, mostly sunny and 87 degrees. In Green Bay, bright sunshine and 83. In Waukesha, partly cloudy, 82. And in Milwaukee, partly cloudy and 82 degrees. Sighting Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:07.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Yep, after the 2 o'clock news, that's what we do. We take a spin around the state to find stories you might have missed. If you want the full details, you can always text SPIN, S-P-I-N, to 855-616-1620, and Real will send you the link to all of these stories.
All of the stories.
Aren't we? We are
not just
so
some of the stories,
nice.
all of the stories.
All of them that we do. Like this first one, wherever it may be from.
All right, let's find out.
Janesville.
All right. Well, if you're planning on spending a warm day enjoying the beach in Janesville, Mother Nature has messed up your plans. Lions Beach, not to be confused with Lions Club.
Right.
Lions Beach in Janesville is closed for the foreseeable future.
Why?
According to WKOW, the Wisconsin State Laboratory of Hygiene, didn't know that was a thing, found elevated levels of bacteria in the swimming area.
Ew.
Yes, the City of Janesville Recreation Division takes water samples weekly, and then the state lab tests for E. coli bacteria.
You know where that comes from?
It's poop water.
Poop water.
It's poop water. Don't poop in the in the lake. Yes. The beach will be closed until further tests show the bacteria levels have decreased.
I'm glad I got you on board with saying poop water, because sometimes that's what it is. Like, stop. Yeah, come on. Everybody's got to swim in there. Anyway, I don't want to swim in your toilet. Let's spin it again before we all get sick.
Baraboo.
When you say Baraboo, what do you think? Circus. Right? Circus. Circus World, which is, as you know, the original home of Ringling Brothers Circus, is turning 65, and they are throwing a party. Circus World Anniversary Days is a 4-day-long 65th anniversary event for an out-of-this-world admission rate of only $6.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're taking it back. It's all this weekend. Circus World, if you don't know, opened in 1959, if you didn't want to do the math, with just 2 buildings on less than an acre of property, and included 6 circus wagons at an admission price of 60 cents, which is the equivalent of $6 today. So that's why they're doing it. Over the past 65 years, Circus World has added 200 wagons and historic vehicles, several new and historic buildings, and more than 60 acres of exhibits to explore. Come witness the timeless traditions of the circus. So that is this weekend. I don't know how you feel about the circus. I love the circus.
Do you?
I am like a child when I get to the circus.
What is it about the circus?
I don't know. The 3 rings, the constant things, people defying death. I know people are going to poo-poo me. I used to enjoy watching the elephants walk in and watching the lions and the tigers. I was a kid. But even as an adult, I didn't think too much of it.
Until someone's like, all those animals are abused and tranquilized.
Then it was like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's not the best thing.
They're not enjoying this.
But I loved every year in Chicago, the train would pull up, and they would take all the animals off the train and parade them to the place they were having the circus, depending on if it was the United Center or the Shriners Hall. I just love it. I love cotton candy. I love the ringmaster. It was great.
I love the idea of running away to the like the mystery, not the mystery, but like the storied fantasy of it all, of what the circus was. But then it's only as you get older that like the actual like down and dirty parts of the circus that you're like, oh, this is kind of dark.
It's not all showbiz and flowers. No. But yeah. So anyway, if you want to explore the happy fun side, then this is the weekend to do it.
And history.
Yes, and a lot of history.
All right, let's see where we're going next.
Milwaukee.
All right, so there's starting to be a list of what's going to be closed in Milwaukee during the RNC. So with the RNC security footprint finalized, some parts of the city are going to be inaccessible to locals because you will not be credentialed like us. But that being the case, some regular events and businesses have announced that they will be closing during the convention. The Journal-Sentinel has published a list. We have that list in our blog post today. So if you text SPIN, you can get that list. So that'll be continue to be updated as the RNC gets closer. But among the closings are the Milwaukee Public Museum, the Betty Bryn Children's Museum, and Turner Hall. I'm kind of surprised Turner Hall didn't get rented out.
It is rented out.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's close to the public.
And then some restaurants are also closing for the duration, restaurants and bars, including Whitetail and Central Standard Craft House. And weekly music events along the river are also being canceled for the week. So this is what's interesting to me as far as what the economic impact will be when it's all said and done. Because I know if you think about different ballrooms that typically get rented out for weddings every weekend of the summer, I'm not sure who wants to have their wedding during the RNC. So it'll be interesting to see kind of the winners and losers of who makes money next month and who doesn't.
And it's going to be interesting when these places will they, because the convention ends on Thursday, will they be able to reopen by Friday and Saturday? I don't know how long it takes the Secret Service to get everything cleared out, but yeah, it will be interesting to see as we go on. All right, one more.
Wisconsin.
Yes, just
the entire
Wisconsin.
State.
We could have added Wisconsin and the United States. This story hit very close to home this morning.
What happened, Brian?
Well, I was driving up through torrential rains, and I was just south of Kenosha when I guess I hit a puddle on 94, but it was not a deep puddle. It was just the kind of water you hear when you go through a puddle. Immediately, my check engine light started flashing. My car lost power. It would not go above 60. It was chugging. I was like, oh, this is not good. But I knew that there was a Hyundai dealership at Kenosha, at the big Highway 50 exit there. And I was like, I'm not taking my foot off the gas. I'm going to make it to the Hyundai dealership. Shout out to Rosen Hyundai in Kenosha.
All right.
Shout out to them because, yes, please. If you take your car to a dealership, the service area is always packed first thing in the morning. I pulled in, there was nobody in front of me, and I was like, this is unusual. And I got out, and I was...
Sweating?
You know me well enough to know I was probably a little stressed.
Okay.
Because I was on my way to work, and I would have been plenty early. And I said to the young service tech, I'm like, can you help me? This is what happened, blah, blah, blah. He goes, well, let me go talk to my manager. And I see the service manager sitting in his office, and there were no words. I just saw him like shake his head a little, and I'm like, oh no. Turns out he came out and he said, yeah, we'll check the code, but our computer system is down. And we have to do everything with pen and paper, and I can still run the codes and stuff on your car, but it might take a while. And I was like, how long's a while? He goes, about an hour. I go, oh, an hour's not a while. An hour, go ahead. So then I go in to sit in the waiting room, and I open the Journal-Sentinel, and what do I see? Auto dealers across the country have been attacked by ransomware. Including 160 dealers right here in Wisconsin.
Damn.
Who just like who was now I'm blanking on the
Ascension?
Yes, just like that. So nearly 160 dealerships across Wisconsin they're in the pre-internet era. They're using pens and pads, and they look very stressed because most of them
I don't know how to do this.
Yes, I don't want to write this. Well, they couldn't even give me a receipt today. They're like, we could email it to you or text it to you. I go, you just email me when you're ready. So the attack is on a company that handles all the software and paperwork for all these dealerships across the country. CDK Global. It's one of the largest providers of cloud-based software to auto dealers. They've been hacked and the people responsible are demanding tens of millions of dollars. According to the Journal-Sentinel, CDK is planning to pay the ransom, but discussions are subject to change. Dealerships, because June is like the biggest month for car sales in the year. But the Wisconsin,
leverage.
Well, the Wisconsin Department of Motor Vehicles has worked with them. They've developed alternative methods for processing title applications and issuing temporary plates. So if you were going to buy a car, you can still buy a car. And again, I got to shout out Rosen Hyundai in Kenosha because they took really good care of me. Turns out there was some recall on my car, and because they checked the recall, everything was covered.
Hey,
so I rolled out
ending.
of there with nothing. It was a very happy ending.
Woo!
So yeah, so there you go. That's Spinning the State. You want to read all about it? Text SPIN, S-P-I-N, to 855-616-1620. After this is exciting. Last week, we talked about, after the Celtics won, we talked about an unusual thing happening where, except for one season, there has been a Wisconsin high school basketball alum on the NBA championship team.
It's still crazy to me.
It's amazing. Well, professional sports in Wisconsin love to go hand in hand. Last night, a new Stanley Cup champion was crowned, and guess what? The president of hockey operations for the Florida Panthers is from right here in Wisconsin. We'll give you a little background on Bill Zito and hear one of his touching comments after the game. After this, it's Spanning the State.
Vince Vitrano here from Wisconsin's Morning News, reminding you to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast. We update it every day with every segment, every interview, and every bit we do on the show. Wait, we don't do bits on the show.
I am jazzed as hell.
You can do it .com too. .com. I'm .comming right now.
It's about 110 degrees in this room. Nice job with the air conditioning, whoever.
All right, maybe we do some bits.
Bullseye!
Subscribe to the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast wherever you get your podcasts or listen live on WTMJ.com.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, with a tip for today's home shoppers. You already know inventory is low and both competition and home prices are high. That's probably why you should not go with your bank or your real estate agent's mortgage pal for your pre-approval. You see, the banks have lots of branches, fancy headquarters, vice presidents and assistant vice presidents, and the loan officers who get referrals from real estate agents, they're typically very highly paid. Who do you think pays for all that extra expense? Turns out it's you. High overhead and high compensation naturally translate into higher closing costs. At Accunet, our extreme efficiency and low overhead mean your closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks and other lenders for exactly the same rate. Don't light your hard-earned money on fire. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval today by clicking on the blue button and put the money you'll save in closing costs towards something for your new home. That's ACCUNET.com.
It's Heiser's Super Summer Savings Event. We have new Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Lincoln, and Cadillac vehicles. Let's make your summer plans way more fun. No matter your style, our Heiser consultants will streamline the process for you. That way, you can get back to enjoying road trips, barbecues, boating, and the rest summer has to offer. So stop in or shop online at Heiser.com. And remember, at Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
And I'm Brian Noonan. The Stones are actually going to be 80 miles south of here this weekend.
See, more music trivia that you know.
A lot of music. I know a lot of useless stuff. And I didn't know this until this morning. Very exciting. I don't know. Are you a hockey fan at all?
My husband's a big hockey fan. I literally got a text from him last night. He's at a sales conference. And he goes, clearly he's a couple deep. And he was like, I should have played hockey. I missed opportunity because he was watching the finals.
Okay.
And he's a big guy and he's fast. He's like, it was just a missed opportunity to use my size and my speed on skates. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
so
okay.
He is, I appreciate the sport.
It is, I watched it sporadically growing up, and then I was involved as a partner with the Blackhawks during their all the Stanley Cup runs, and I got to appreciate the game a lot more and just watch how, first of all, it's insane. These guys are going like 100 miles an hour on skates, and they're hitting a little frozen puck.
They're literally,
right, that have cut people's throats.
Yes.
I mean, it's nuts. But a Wisconsin tie-in to the Florida Panthers winning the greatest trophy in sports, arguably, the Stanley Cup. Bill Zito is the president of hockey operations for the Panthers.
All right.
He is also a Whitefish Bay native.
Look at that.
That's right. How about this? He was also a Brewers bat boy. That's right. He played hockey at University School in Milwaukee during high school.
Not bad.
He loved baseball, so he got a job as a bat boy because he knew the daughters of the then general manager.
That it happens when you go to university school.
Yes, you meet network.
You hobnob.
You hobnob. And so he worked as a bat boy. He was a bat boy during the Brewers World Series appearance, so that was exciting. And he really loved baseball. But then one day he was talking to one of the higher ups, and he said, "Oh, I want to stay in baseball." And they said, "Well, you're not good enough to play, but how about you go into scouting?" And he was like, "Oh, no, I really love hockey." And they're like, "No, you're good here. Why don't you go into scout?" Well, I don't know. And then he was an agent for a while, and then he got the call a couple of years ago to become the GM or the president of hockey operations for the Panthers. And he built this team up because the Panthers were a franchise starting in the 93-94 season. That's the first time. They've never won a Stanley Cup.
Okay.
Last year they were in the final, but they lost to Las Vegas. So this year it was like, all right, we got to do this. And Zito went out and he traded for Matthew Tkachuk from Calgary, signed him to an 8-year extension. He got a huge waiver claim for defenseman Gustav Forsling. And then, most of all, he added coach Paul Maurice to be the head coach.
Is that a big deal?
It is a huge deal because there was a little controversy when he hired Paul Maurice. Now, Bill Zito says this was never a question. Hockey people said, well, listen, Maurice had only been to like 9 playoffs in his whole career. Why are you doing this? But it was his ability to talk to players, his culture, his character, all of that. Funny story that I heard Bill Zito say yesterday. He was trying to get a hold of Maurice to hire him. Well, Maurice was somewhere fishing.
Is he also a Wisconsin guy?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of fish he was trying to get. It does sound like a Wisconsin thing. So much so he was not answering any of his texts. They were texting to try to get him on the phone to offer him this job. And finally, Zito called and left a message. He's like, hey, you got to answer your phone. I'm trying to offer you a job. And the rest is history. And now Paul Maurice has led them to a Stanley Cup win. This is what I find interesting about sports, because the old trope is guys don't really share their emotion, but we know athletes, when they win, get very emotional. There's something about an athlete, and sometimes the moms. It depends on if you had a dad around, but a lot of times it's the dad. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how successful you are. You want your dad to be proud of you. And that was the case for Bill Zito last night. After the Panthers won, he was on the ice, he got interviewed, and they asked him this.
What's the most gratifying part about this for you?
I have my dad here. I have my dad here.
I'm glad you can go celebrate with him. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Isn't that nice?
That is the part to me as far as watching sports, whether it's the heartbreak during March Madness, and there's just the guys who probably know that they just played their last game because they're not going to get drafted, and if they've just lost, or if they, when they finally win the whole thing. But just the emotion behind sports always gets me.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. And they said everybody who talks about Bill Zito goes, "Oh, he's a real emotional guy. He cries a lot." But there's that. My dad's here, and he saw me do this, and it was great because his dad put him through hockey in high school. All right, before we got to get out of here, there was a lot of talk about it's exciting. Play-by-play guys in all sports are terrific. I think hockey is the hardest to call play-by-play because it's so fast.
It's so fast, and you're like, where's that tiny little puck?
Where's that thing? Sean McDonough was calling the Stanley Cup final, and he lost his mind at the end of the game.
Florida trying to end it up against the wall, which would be fitting. 3 seconds to go. The Florida Panthers have won the Stanley Cup.
And what I like about that is he's not the team's announcer.
That's what I was going to ask. I was like, is he partial to this team?
He's an ABC Disney employee. He calls finals in all the sports, but for some reason, man, he went crazy. And I like that. I like when we always get it from the home announcer. If you were listening to the Panthers broadcast, I can only imagine what was happening there. But for a network announcer to get that into it and sell it to everybody, it was an exciting ending.
I'm trying to think now, like rewind back to 2021 when the Bucks won, of like what the timbre of the voice was for the announcers. Because I feel like once there's a winner, and like, especially if it's not your team that just lost,
right?
You're excited for them, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's great. And what was the best about him is once he did that call, he let the picture speak for itself. He didn't try to insert himself. All right, when we come back, oh my goodness, we're going to talk dive bars after the news on Spanning the State. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
That's a lot. Why are you so happy?
It's time for Summerfest.
Oh, I love Summerfest. The music, fireworks, a Sazza sampler.
The beer, tossing things on people from the Sky Glider.
Don't ruin the vibe, Brian. That's what I'm looking forward to. That and beating you in a game of horse in the Gruber Law Sports Zone.
Well, I want to see the new Supermoon in Cosmic Cornfield.
Don't forget the most important new thing. Spanning the State is going to be broadcasting live Thursdays and Fridays of Summerfest from 1 to 3 p.m.
Be sure to stop by the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio to say hi. And Kristen, nothing but net.
You'll see.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano inviting you to spend New Year's at sea and offering you an amazing deal if you book the Vinny Cruise now. Join my family and me on Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas, a Western Caribbean cruise leaving December 29th. Right now you can save up to $875 per person if you book through my partners, Expedia Cruises Brookfield. It's the only place you can get this deal right now. We'll stop in Mexico, Honduras, Royal Caribbean's private island in the Bahamas, and let's spend some time together. A welcome cocktail party for our group, dinner, a full group excursion on Roatan Island, a day of sloths, monkeys, zip lining, snorkeling, and a delicious local island-style lunch included. Our group from Wisconsin rings in the new year then together at sea. Enjoy Christmas here at home, and then let's set sail for the trip of a lifetime. Couples, bring the kids, or grandma and grandpa. How about bringing the entire family? Email me for more information from Expedia Cruises Brookfield. Vince at WTMJ.com. That's Vince at WTMJ.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. It was time to paint the outside of our house, and I was overwhelmed. I really wasn't looking forward to it. Thank goodness I got in touch with CertaPro Painters, each business independently owned and operated right here in Wisconsin. They made it easy. They were quick. They were efficient. They were friendly and fun. It's CertaPro Painters. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. My home has never looked better, literally. I couldn't be happier. It's CertaPro Painters. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life, and that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Attorneys for special counsel Jack Smith accused former President Trump's lawyers of hijacking a hearing in his classified documents case with far-fetched theories. ABC's Catherine Falders has more on what's at issue in the hearing in front of Judge Eileen Cannon.
Motions brought by former President Trump's lawyers. One, to consider whether special counsel Jack Smith's appointment as special counsel is unlawful. And the judge has also been considering a request by Jack Smith to impose a limited gag order over Donald Trump's speech as it relates to law enforcement involved in the case. It's not clear when Cannon intends to rule on this.
The judge who oversaw Trump's criminal trial in New York modified the gag order, allowing him to now publicly discuss jurors or witnesses. The CDC is advising doctors to look out for dengue. There's been a record number of the mosquito-borne virus cases in the Americas this year, including more than 700 so far in the U.S. related to travel. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:31, I'm John Mercure. A church in Jefferson County went up in flames last night. Neighbors near St. John the Baptist Church in Jefferson say they heard a loud boom about 9 o'clock that could be felt throughout the church. Investigators say a lightning strike started the fire. Decision Wisconsin, a Dane County judge is ordering Wisconsin clerks to allow absentee email ballot delivery in the November election for voters with disabilities. The ruling in favor of Disability Rights Wisconsin and the Wisconsin League of Women Voters requires that email ballots be capable of being marked electronically as well. Attorneys for the Wisconsin Elections Commission argue Monday that there's not enough time to implement electronic ballot delivery before the November election. Decision Wisconsin coverage is presented by Pasternak and Zergabel. And welcoming guests to the Republican National Convention with a big concert. Country music artist Trace Adkins will perform for convention delegates and party organizations at the Red, White, and Brew Welcome Party. The event will take place at Henry Meyer Festival Park on July 14th. That's one day before the RNC officially begins. 50,000 guests are expected to come to Milwaukee for convention activities. Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. It's a mixed bag. The NASDAQ right now is up 225 points. The S&P jumping 21 points. The Dow, as we sit, is down 279 points on the day. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's check out those roads. It's the WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. A couple of delays to tell you about. I-94 eastbound, Highway 16 to the Zoo. That's going to take you an extra 5 minutes. Then from the Zoo into downtown, construction impacting things, that's another extra 5 minutes. And I-43 southbound, Brown Deer into downtown through all that construction, looking at a 3-minute delay this afternoon. And your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 67 degrees. Tomorrow, spotty showers possible and breezy, a high of 80. On Thursday, patchy fog in the morning, then sun in the afternoon, a high of 74. Friday, chance for rain, 78. Saturday, chance for rain, a high of 84 degrees. Right now in Madison, partly cloudy and 87 degrees. In Green Bay, sunny and 83. In Milwaukee, partly cloudy and 82 degrees. I'm John Mercure, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:34.
Hugs from patients, like Patrick from here in Milwaukee. It's something QC Kinetics medical professionals experience every day.
I hugged them. You should hug somebody who does that for you. They gave me my life back, and I really didn't know where I was going to go because I was definitely afraid of having a knee replacement done.
No surgery, no downtime with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. They give patients relief from joint pain using their own healing properties to repair and restore damaged tissue. And the results? Well, that's why we see a lot of hugs at QC Kinetics.
Everything is back that I thought I was never going to be able to do again. I'm still smiling, and sometimes it gets emotional. I get a tear in my eye because of how I was before I went in there.
Those smiles and hugs never get old at QC Kinetics. It means patients are finally getting relief. And now it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation and see if you're a good candidate for these amazing treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
For your next exterior remodeling project, we know you're not asking a lot from us. You want the right products for your situation, you want a few different financing options that can make your project affordable, and you want us to do a good job with minimal disruption to your life. And this one's important. You want a warranty that matters. And we know that checking every box makes all the difference. You might be surprised at how many moving parts go into it, but we have just the right people in all the right places to pull that off every day and make it look easy. The company we have took us 21 years to build. It's an awesome place to work because we never stop improving it. And we think we can do this work so well that we can actually change the reputation of exterior remodelers long term. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Ask about our finance options.
It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry, and Wisconsin dive bars. Gotta love them, right? Who doesn't love a good Wisconsin dive bar?
I love a dive bar. It's actually the only kind of bar I feel very comfortable in is a dive bar.
Not a swanky speakeasy?
No. Come on. What am I? Going to put on some spats and a monocle and have a highball? No.
Well, we asked this question the last time our guest was here as far as what makes a Wisconsin dive bar. What is your definition? What is the criteria? But coming back once again is Scott Small, creator of Dive Bars of Wisconsin, which you can find on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Dives of WI. Welcome back, Scott.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So the last time you were here, it was funny because it was during the tournament, and so it was the 2024 Tournament of the Taverns. And so remind everyone how the tournament worked.
So the tournament, we've been running it for 4 years now. We get a bracket of 32 bars from every corner of the state, and we leave it to the people to vote. It's a pure democracy on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We get tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of votes throughout the tournament, and whittle it down to the people's choice for the best dive bar in Wisconsin for that year. And last time I was on, I think we were probably about halfway through it.
Yeah. So who ended up being the final four?
So the final four ended up being Elwood's in Milwaukee, which you took issue with last time.
It's not a dive bar. But,
okay. Ray's Place in Eau Claire, known for their ham and cheese sandwiches. The Midway Bar in Butternut, Wisconsin, and Chubb and Sandy's, the eventual winner, up in Hurley, Wisconsin, Iron County on the UP border.
Okay.
Yeah.
I may have been to that one.
Up in the UP border?
Yep.
Up in Hurley, it's right across from, I think, Iron.
Yes,
Ironwood,
Iron
Iron something.
Yeah. I've done some drinking.
So
up
they're
there.
the winner.
Yeah. They are
Good
the
for
winner.
them.
How did they react when they found out they were the winner?
I have been.
Did they care?
Oh, I mean, they were ecstatic.
How would you not?
There was a story written about it in like the Hurley local paper, and it's a huge thing for these smaller communities, to have that sort of state recognition and to have one of their bars that they consider part of their community to be recognized by tens of thousands of people. It's really great for them.
I sure you answered this the first time you were here, but now that Kristen has thrown up her hands at Elwood's, where's the line between, like you said, this is a swanky speakeasy, this is a nice bar, and then there's the dive bar. Where's the line?
I think the line, you have to draw it where you can get what you want to drink. You can listen to what you want to listen to or watch what you want to watch, whether it's sports or music or, whatever. And the people there are not strangers, right? Even if they are actual strangers, no one's going to look the other way if you walk in with a group of people. And it probably changes season to season, too. When we talked, it was in March, and now it's almost July. And, does it change in the summer? Do you have to have some sort of outdoor seating to be a dive bar? Does that exclude you from being a dive bar?
I would think just the opposite.
Yeah.
Dive bar, it's got to be dark and scary when you walk in.
What if it's just a furniture set out in the parking lot,
That seems more like a dive bar. It's like,
exactly,
here's some lawn chairs.
Yeah.
Call it a patio.
There's an umbrella.
Yeah. And the old school webbed lawn chairs, not even a nice plastic one.
Yeah.
Just with the webbing.
And it's funny because it's like, is there certain things that you have to have in order to be a dive bar, or is there certain things that if you have it, you're obviously a dive bar? Because on that same day, because that was a Friday, my husband and I went to Lake Geneva, and on the way, because in honor of our segment, we stopped, we found a dive bar. It was called River's Edge in Salem Lake.
Okay.
And they had two bar dogs, one of which had one eye.
There you go.
And they did tricks for beef sticks, but you had to buy the beef sticks from the bar. And I was like, I'm not saying every dive bar needs a one-eyed bar dog, but if you have a one-eyed bar dog, you're absolutely a dive bar.
Yeah. Or if you have a dog that is it's the bar dog and it sits at the bar. Yes. That's another key.
If the bar accepts dogs, but it's not a dog bar,
right?
You
brought
there's
your
just
dog?
Dogs around, I think that's a good tick.
And they're definitely none of them are
category.
purebreds.
No, absolutely not.
And none of their
Absolutely
owners may actually be there drinking. The dogs just wandered in for one.
Exactly. All right. Well, so tell us about the next thing you guys are working on now, Dives of the Ice Age.
Yes. So after the Tournament of Taverns is over, there's always a little bit of a lull because that's our biggest event of the year. And so this year I had a friend who decided that he was going to hike all 1,200 miles of the Ice Age Trail, starting up in Door County and finishing up in northwestern Wisconsin. And I told him, hey, look, why don't you start taking pictures of dive bars along the way and sending them to me? And now we're kind of tracking his progress. Unfortunately, he hurt himself about 3/4 of the way through.
Was it after you went to a dive bar?
Oh, I'm sure he was. I know he visited quite a few of them. He'd send me little notes saying, the shake of the day here sucks, blah, blah, blah. But we're about 50% of the way through in terms of posting what he has sent to me, and people are sending in stuff along the way. So we're not posting every single bar because that would be hundreds of bars.
Yeah.
But I think we're at number 21 right now.
Oh, wow.
So
which city are you in? So you started in Door County. It comes down
south
through West Bend,
Kettle Moraine, and then we're back up north of Madison now in Merrimack.
Okay.
Yeah, so on Lake Wisconsin. It's called Ferry Crossing. It's the location where there's a ferry that crosses Lake Wisconsin in Merrimack. It looks like a really good spot, good food, cheap drinks, and, just north of Madison.
Are you going to limit it to 36 again, or are you bracket-wise, or are you going to just keep it going until you run out?
No, I'd like to think that the Dives of the Ice Age thing is more where people can look back on it for years to come and say, hey, if I'm hiking this segment, I know that this bar is going to be on that segment of the trip and that it's a good bar. It's, got the stamp of approval from Dives of Wisconsin, and that's good enough for me. There's a whole hashtag that goes with it. I think it's Ice Age Dives.
Ice Age Dives.
Is the hashtag, yeah.
Okay, and so what's the next thing after this then? What's the other quintessential Wisconsin thing? And that if you follow this trail, here are the dive bars.
Oh, the yellow brick trail to the dive bar.
Yes.
After this, so going back to the Tournament of the Taverns, every year we throw a party for the winning bar. So this year, for the first time, Dives of Wisconsin is headed up to the Northwoods to Hurley.
Nice.
And August 17th, we're throwing a big party for Chubb and Sandy's. I've been texting with Sandy throughout the last couple of weeks. She's very excited. We have food trucks, live music, drink deals.
Is there going to be a meat raffle? There better be a meat raffle.
I could arrange a meat raffle.
Is there a Chubb?
I don't know. I have not met Chubb personally. I have met Sandy.
Okay.
So maybe
The
that
elusive
you have to
Chubb.
come. You have to come to find out.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we broadcast. That would be a good.
I mean, don't twist my arm.
Yeah, we'll take Spanning the State
Convoy
up to
up
Hurley.
with us.
August 17th. Is that a weekday?
No, it's a Saturday.
Oh.
So we'd have to do it the day before.
Well, to stay over in Hurley sounds like paradise.
Especially in the summer.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, where can people find you, and where can people find more information about the party?
You can find us on all social media at Dives, Dives, of WI. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. All of the poster for the event has been posted on all of those. So there's a Facebook event, the Tournament of the Taverns 2024 Championship Party for Chubb and Sandy's.
All right. Scott Small, creator of Dive Bars of Wisconsin. Always fun to talk to you.
Yeah,
always
thanks
good.
for being here.
Always good. Have
All
a
right.
good summer, everyone.
You too. News time 2:44. This is Spanning the State.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Is your IRS tax debt making you feel anxious? The professionals at Allies Tax Relief are ready to negotiate your fresh start. Call them now at 800-230-5174.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
As you age, you start noticing pain in your joints that didn't used to be there. But you don't have to live in pain. When joint pain becomes a reality, schedule your free pain evaluation with Rejuvenex. We'll find where your pain lives and inject powerful, FDA-approved medicines that reduce inflammation and pain, while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees, with some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. While treatments like stem cells can cost close to $10,000 per joint, at Rejuvenex, the cost for your injection can be as low as $65, and almost all major insurance plans cover our treatments, so you may not have to pay anything at all. Call us now to schedule your free pain evaluation, because I'm pretty sure we can help you. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Downtown Milwaukee is the place to be for summer fun. On Saturday, catch the thrills of the Milwaukee River Challenge as collegiate and club teams take on the Menominee and Milwaukee Rivers. Then, make plans to check out Doors Open September 23rd and 24th as more than 100 venues open their spaces for public exploration. So come on down. Experience downtown in every sense. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Hot dog! Hot dog!
Welcome back to Spanning the State Hot Dog. I'm Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Newton. I actually grilled hot dogs last night for dinner. I love a good hot dog. Love a good encased meat, Kristen. Another thing to put on the list about me is one of the layers. Love a good encased meat. All right, you're familiar with Clements sausages,
I am.
correct?
I am.
Delicious things, beef sticks, sausages, all sorts of things. 2 stories today came out about Clements. The first, this is why you have to read a story rather than just the headline.
Okay.
Because there were 2 stories today about Clements meat. The first headline I saw, and you saw this too, thankfully you saw another story, but the first headline said, why you won't be seeing Clements meats at Quick Trip anymore. And I was like, oh no. What happened? Is there some sort of, pun intended, beef between Clements and Quick Trip? And then another one said, Clements bought by Chicago firm.
Bum, bum, bum.
And I thought, that's the issue. Quick Trip and Chicago have some sort of animosity. No, read the stories. Well, I did, so you don't have to. So here's the deal. First, this is why you probably won't be seeing as many Clements products at Quick Trip. Because Quick Trip likes to sell fresh sausages, like bratwurst and sausage links and things like that. That's what they sell. Well, Clements is getting out of the fresh sausage market and focusing on smoked sausage goods like beef sticks, etc. So Quick Trip will still sell those products, like Clements beef sticks and stuff, but they obviously won't have brats and sausages.
Just rotating for hours at a time, or waiting for someone to pick it up?
Yeah, you pick up a package of brats to run home with or things like that. They're not going to have that. So that's the reason. And the sausage links at Quick Trip that were once supplied by Clements are going to be replaced by Johnsonville, which we love Johnsonville, and the private label that will vary. And then they're also going to have, I like that they put this in the story like we don't know, another label called Quickery. What is Quickery? I don't know. Anybody who's ever walked anywhere near a Quick Trip will know. So that's story number one about Quick Trip.
Okay.
No problem between Clements and Quick Trip. Clements just discontinuing one kind of sausages. But then the real story comes up, and you see that Clements, a Milwaukee-based company, founded in 1956, 200 employees, it's been bought out. Not only has it been bought out, but it's been bought out by a company in Chicago.
Which just always, I remember the first time I found out Milwaukee dill pickles, when you look at where they're made in Chicago, you're like, this is false advertising.
See?
What the heck?
And I know that response was my initial response too. Oh, that's going to take... No, fear not.
Okay.
People who love Clements, and fear not the 200 people who work for Clements, because Amy Lou Foods has bought them out. They do all sorts of food things. They are, yes, based in Chicago, but they have already said they're pumping a ton of money into upgrading the factory here in Milwaukee. They're going to add another up to 300 people to the workforce. Everybody who works at Clements now will stay working at Clements. So this is a really good deal. Amy Lou, like I said, I'm sorry. They plan to add 200 employees to the Milwaukee production facility. There are 300 working there now. So just a little flip of the numbers. But over the next 2 to 3 years, they'll add 200 jobs. They're going to upgrade the plant, and that's all great. And again, Clements founded in 1956 by three brothers, George, John, and Ron Clement. Clements says they still use the same old family recipes to make smoked sausages, summer sausages, and snack sticks. And that's why they are the OG delicious smoked meats, as
Do you have
opposed
a preference
to the fresh meats.
to fresh encased meats versus smoked encased meats?
Well, of course, a fresh encased meat, I'm going to go with a brat every time, or a Polish sausage. A smoked...
What about kielbasa?
To be honest, I don't know if I've had more than a couple kielbasas.
Okay.
That's not a thing that crosses my palate.
Not a blood
very much.
sausage. I'm just thinking of sausage names right now.
I know, but I would never eat a blood sausage.
The name does not appetizing at all.
No, and I know people are like, oh, it's so good, you should eat it. Nope. I'm going to stick with some meat sticks and things like that. All right, we're going to come back, wrap things up. It's Spanning the State.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me as we count down to the RNC in Milwaukee. We'll talk to the biggest names across the political landscape.
The idea of having the convention here is to advertise the city of Milwaukee. And it's not good advertising for the city of Milwaukee if they're throwing Molotov cocktails and overturning cop cars.
Full podcast available on WTMJ.com, or text RNC to the Old National Bank Talk and Text line and get a link sent directly to you.
Decision Wisconsin 2024 coverage is presented by Pasternak and Zerga Bell.
The reviews are in, and folks seem to like how we do business. And what's more, they can't get over the level of service and real estate expertise they get for far less than what they'd pay an agent from a big-name company. At 3.5 to 3.9%, you'll save up to nearly 50% in commission by choosing a Benefit Realty full-service agent. Everything they do, we do, for up to 50% less. There's no catch. I'm Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. See our success stories at benefit-realty.com. One day, a 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission structure will be commonplace. But for now, it's not the case. So you can pay 6% for what we can do for about half that, or you can pay less for full service. For some, it's hard to believe, but for our customers, they know it to be true. I'm Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, and our agents understand the meaning of great customer service. And you'll see they're the cream of the crop. So don't pay more than you have to. Pay less. For full service with Benefit Realty. Benefit-realty.com.
Siding Unlimited named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited.